Zipporah is a notable figure in the biblical narrative of the Old Testament, being recognized as the wife of Moses and the mother of his two sons, Gérson and Eliezer. Zipporah, the name that resonates with deep meaning in biblical stories, emerges as a figure as crucial as it is mysterious. She is much more than just the wife of Moses. She is a character who plays a fundamental role in the heroic journey of the leader who led the children of Israel to freedom. Her story is full of mystery, twists and turns, and a deep spiritual understanding that transcends the limits of conventional understanding. In this video, we will explore the intriguing universe of Zipporah, uncovering the secrets behind this extraordinary figure who played a vital role in the history of faith and redemption. The story of Zipporah begins when Moses, the great leader chosen by God to lead the Israelites to freedom from Egyptian slavery, was fleeing Egypt. Moses had killed an Egyptian who was mistreating a Hebrew, and he feared for his life. He arrived in the land of Midian, a desert in Arabia, where the people descended from Abraham through Keturah. The wife Abraham took after Sarah's death, lived. Zipporah was one of the 7 daughters of Jethro, the priest of Midian. The story goes that Moses was at a well when Jethro's daughters came to draw water to give to their father's flocks. Some shepherds planned to drive out the women, including Zipporah, but Moses intervened, defending them and helping to water the flocks. This meeting occurred early in the relationship between Moses and Zipporah. When Jethro's daughters told their father what Moses had done, he chose Moses to live in his house and eventually gave his daughter Zipporah in marriage to Moses. Together, Moses and Zipporah had 2 sons, Gérson and Eliezer. The name Gérson is explained in the biblical text as a result of Moses' feeling of pilgrimage in a foreign land. On the other hand, Eliezer means God is help, a reference to the fact that God had delivered Moses from Pharaoh's sword. She, with her tireless determination and exceptional wisdom, was the anchor that supported Moses' extraordinary mission, the beacon of hope in the storm that was the search for Israel's redemption. Her presence at Moses' side was of fundamental importance, helping him on his dark and tortuous paths, like a guiding star shining in the midst of darkness. Zipporah, whose name echoes like a hymn of courage, played a crucial role in helping Moses' mission and redeeming the chosen people. Her story is an eloquent testament to how a seemingly minor figure can actually be the key to the transformation of an entire nation. In the whirlwind of Moses' journey towards Egypt, when the fate of an entire nation hung in the balance, it was Zipporah, with courage and fearlessness, who offered herself as the guardian of Moses' life. While God's chosen leader was prepared to face his most critical mission, an extraordinary event occurred. It was a moment when God himself seemed to cast an ominous shadow over the man who was supposed to lead the children of Israel toward freedom. However, Zipporah did not bow before the imminent threat of the great I Am. In an act of unwavering courage, she took responsibility in her hands, like someone holding a thread of hope in the midst of darkness. When God, in some way, intended the death of Moses, Zipporah acted with the dexterity of a heroine infected by the idea of freeing the nation of Israel. With skillful hands, she circumcised her son, and the shed blood created a new covenant, becoming the key that unlocked the door of victory for Moses. It was an act of faith, devotion, and deep understanding of divine purpose.
"Surely you are a husband of blood to me,"
declared Zipporah as the act unfolded before them. It was as if she intuitively understood that this moment was not just a matter of rituals, but rather a vital link in the chain of redemption that God planned. She personified the determination not to allow her beloved husband to be interrupted in his divinely ordained mission. Thus, Zipporah emerged as the fearless voice that defied God himself, cut through the seeming wickedness of the moment, and in doing so paved the way for the liberation of an entire people. Her heroic intervention echoes through the centuries, reminding us that even in the darkest situations, determination and devotion can turn the course of history. Zipporah was not just the wife of Moses, but an indomitable force who shaped the destinies of many. She embodies the idea that, in the most critical moments, love, courage, and understanding can overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges. The story of Zipporah is a timeless lesson in how bold action and unbreakable faith can serve as lamps that light the way in the deepest darkness. Amid the arid sands of the desert and beneath the vast and merciless sky, the story of Zipporah and Moses unfolds as a singular epic poem. She, a woman of unshakable courage, and he, the one chosen by God to lead the children of Israel towards freedom. United in holy matrimony, they were tested by a challenge that surpassed the boundaries of love and devotion. After the wedding, an unexpected turn of events occurred. Zipporah, deeply understanding the magnitude of Moses' mission, made an extraordinary decision. She chose to separate herself from him, granting him the space he needed to fully concentrate on the divinely ordained task that awaited him. This choice, far from being a gesture of abandonment, was, in fact, a supreme act of support and sacrifice. While Moses left to lead his people, Zipporah retreated behind the scenes, making it clear that compliance with God's calling was an absolute priority. She understood that the grandeur of the mission was designed for her husband's total dedication. This separation was not a break in love, but rather an act of supreme love. It was the willingness to give up his physical presence so that Moses could unite more deeply and intimately with the Lord and with the cause for which he had been called. The story of Zipporah is a poignant reminder of how true love is not selfish, but rather selfless. Like the flame that burns in silence, it invites behind the scenes, nurturing the fire of Moses' mission. Voluntary separation from her sounds like a timeless echo of unconditional support and unwavering faith. In the barren desert of life, Zipporah and Moses are a testimony that sometimes the greatest act of love is to allow those we love to follow God's calling, even if it means our own absence. The story of Zipporah also mentions an intriguing episode. After meeting God on Mount Sinai and the mission to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, Moses and his family returned to Midian. However, there is a passage in the book of Numbers, Numbers 12, in which Miriam and Aaron, Moses' sister and brother, criticized Moses for having married a Cushite or Ethiopian woman. Some scholars debate whether this woman was Zipporah or a second wife of Moses after Zipporah's death, but her identity remains uncertain. In short, Zipporah played an important role in Moses' life, supporting him on his journey as leader of the Israelites. She was the mother of his sons, Gérson and Eliezer, and her marriage to Moses is part of the story of the Israelites' liberation from Egypt and their journey towards the Promised Land. Her story is an example of how people not so recognized and remembered became biblical characters who played important roles in the events that shaped the history of the people of Israel.